Joe is the kind of person that if you can do something and you should do something, then you have to do it.
Joe is one of those people that you will find likable from the moment you meet him. First of all, warm personality, extends a hand, and that hand is not just a handshake, it's lifelong friendship.
Anywhere Joe goes, I have no shadow of a doubt, he will be successful, he will be personable, he will fit into that community, and that community will embrace him.
Well, Joe is not from Louisiana, but we've adopted him. And he's made himself feel right at home. And again, it's back to relationships. And Joe is a very down-to-earth person who can, hang with ordinary people, or he can dine with executives.
My goodness, he's the age of the youngest of my 5 children. There's this huge difference in our ages, yet I consider Joe a friend and would sometimes just call and talk to each other. What a wonderful guy.
And Joe is certainly a unique one, not just because he's from Jersey and not just because he's a numbers guy, but because he loves to serve his people. And I think that at the end of the day, there's an old Chinese proverb that says that to lead, you've got to serve. And I think that's what makes Joe Agresti very effective with his stores and within the community that he's operating in.
Joe is genuine. He is a genuine person. What you see is what you get. And that's what I appreciate about him. He's going to tell you what you need to know. He's going to tell you what he knows. And if there's something that he needs to fix, he's going to fix it and he's going to make it better.
Charming, intelligent, bright, brilliant, a person who takes one and he looks beyond who you are in life and your status in life, so embracing.
Joe is painfully honest and very charming and friendly and humble. And that I admire about him. He's humble in a confident way.
Smart, driven, high energy, and passionate were probably 4 that just quickly come to mind. I've met few people in business that are as passionate and devoted to their craft as Joe Agresti is.
He has just embraced our community, even though he's from up north. He has Southern hospitality, he has Southern manners. Every year we have the big customer appreciation dinner. I wait for my invitation every year because I want to be a part of it. I love being a part of his family. He brings his family in from New York to visit with us, to talk with us, to feed us.
They cook a great meal, homemade pasta and meatballs, and part of his heritage, and everyone has a great time. And they clear out the showroom and have everyone, and people in Louisiana love to eat. And so it's a real great way to build relationships, and Joe's all about relationships.
A person that virtually says, why don't we sit down and talk? Where are you headed today? Why don't we have lunch? Somebody who's community oriented and somebody who's not afraid to come out of that office to engage a lot of people, and really you become one. This is not Joe Agresti, owner of a dealership. This is Joe Agresti, your friend. And if you walk into that building and he's not your friend, by the time you leave out, he will be your friend.
The first time I met Joe, I realized he really had a heart, because we were both a part of a startup organization that was going to honor the best teachers in the state of Louisiana. And I remember Joe said that he wanted to offer the State Teacher of the Year a Mercedes to drive for a year, and I could hardly believe this. No one has ever offered any of our outstanding teachers anything like this. So when I talked to Joe, why would you do this? And he said, well, Donna, a teacher really changed my life, and I want to give back. In
spite of his success, he turns around and shares it with the community, and he gives back, and that's a winner.
I don't think you're going to find too many people with the drive and the passion of Joe Agresti. I think he understands the numbers. I think he understands how to lead, but more importantly, he understands how to serve.
I certainly think that wherever he goes, wherever his future takes him, he will function beautifully in that community. He always finds the good in people. He sees potential in me that I certainly don't always see in myself. encourages me to do whatever it is I need to do. And if I feel like I can't, call him. He'll help me.
Some people, when they talk about their success, you need to put an extension on their arm to make sure they've patted their whole back. That's not Joe. Joe is the kind of guy who looks at you and say, thank you for your business. Joe is the kind of guy that makes sure that you're always satisfied.
Previously, I had walked into that showroom before with the previous owners, and it felt like a regular car dealer. But the second time around, which was after Joe Agresti had purchased the dealership, it was a totally different experience.
It seemed like the whole dynamic changed. It came, full circle. It was good. I wasn't just a customer or a client or someone who drove one of his vehicles. I was part of his family, because we are part of a family here, Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge.
He's a hard worker. There's no 9 to 5 in Joe. With Joe, you better believe that as long as it takes him to get the job done, he's going to do it. If he has to go to a customer's house, Joe is there.
As a matter of fact, my wife also drives a Mercedes, and she had a flat tire, and so she called me because she was running late to an appointment. And so I told her to call the local dealership, and Joe Agresti showed up himself with an employee to change the tire. She was on her way in less than 15 minutes. That left an impression on my wife, and to this day she says, this is why I will drive a Mercedes-Benz.
What you see is what you get. Some people say folks talk the talk and others walk the walk. Joe Agresti walks the walk.
Any community that can get Joe not only gets up here, good businessman, but they also get this. They're lucky if they get him. But I don't want him to leave here.
And he makes sure the customers leave out with a smile on their face and come back. And I would tell you this, they know that they're coming here with a person who takes the product to heart and a person who will never let them down.
If Joe has decided that he will do this, if you've offered him this opportunity and he has chosen to do it, then it will be done well. It will be successful. As I think I said earlier, if he thinks that he can do it, and if he thinks that he should do it, then he will have to do it. Nothing less than success will be acceptable.